Microsoft says a Microsoft 365 Copilot bug has been causing the AI assistant to summarize confidential emails since late January, bypassing data loss prevention policies that organizations rely on to protect sensitive information. According to a service alert seen by Bleeping Computer, this bug, first detected on January 21st, affects the Copilot Work tab chat feature, which incorrectly reads and summarizes emails stored in users' sent items and draft folders, including messages that carry confidentiality labels explicitly designed to restrict access by automated tools. This is obviously a major problem, and I think this is sort of the issue with integrating AI into so many of these things, right? If you don't implement these things correctly, you're basically just sharing confidential or private stuff with an AI chat company. This is like a breach of confidentiality. A lot of companies utilize these confidentiality labels to make sure that people aren't sending these emails outside the company. I'm sure that a lot of companies who had specifically super sensitive stuff they were discussing are probably really mad at Microsoft right now because technically they've sent all of their confidential information to Copilot chat. This is sort of inevitable when you basically grant entire access to inboxes. I think we should try and avoid these sort of tools because this is sort of an outcome of, unless someone sets it up perfectly or it ends up sending things to an AI server that it wasn't supposed to, I think there's not really a good way to implement these sort of tools.
My favorite part of that I somehow missed when I was reading that article is the part where it summarizes the sent and the drafts. So not only was it doing something that it explicitly was not supposed to, it wasn't even being useful in the process. Like, I don't need you to summarize my sent and draft emails when I'm the one writing them. I want to be fair and I want to acknowledge that, like, okay, there's always going to be bugs. There's always going to be mistakes, but there's certain bugs and mistakes that it's just like, how did it get that far through the life cycle and no one caught it? The privacy aspect of this is very obvious. What if you're sending sensitive medical data, sensitive national secrets? The government uses Microsoft, Windows and Outlook and Azure and all kinds of stuff. And so, like, it's bad enough we've got our own government officials adding journalists to Signal chats. Now we've got Microsoft itself is training on sensitive war plans. It's crazy.
It's like the double whammy, we're like burning down forests and building power plants to fund all of this. And like, it's like an endless money pit of like AI data centers. And then it's just being used for like the most unnecessary stuff.
And then we had one more AI story, kind of tying in with AI and remembering that AI is a privacy invasion. It says Grok exposed a porn performer's legal name and birth date without even being asked. I guess somebody posted a picture of this girl online and somebody else replied and they asked Grok, like, who is this? And Grok said, oh, that's Siri Dahl. She's an adult performer, but her legal name is this and her birthday is this. And it's just so like on the one hand, I understand how AI doesn't really understand what you're asking, but just the fact that it threw that out there, and especially this goes back to, again, we mentioned this in previous episodes, the idea that AI just trains on everything indiscriminately without consent. I could see a world where this woman may have said, like, sure, it can know like my stage name, it can know the sites I've been on, it can know the videos I've been in. But I think she would have been like, I would prefer it not tell people my legal name. And the whole point of privacy is that you're supposed to have that consent to be able to say who you want to share data with and what data you want to share with them. And when AI scrapes all that up, it's still taking away that agency from you, and it's taking away your right to privacy and your control over that information.
It's kind of unfortunate that this like AI tool could like identify somebody so easily. I guess it is somebody whose face is widely shared on the internet, but still connecting that back to an actual person's name. How exactly did that happen? That's like kind of my question. Like, did you see anything in the article that like suggested that or explained how that happened?
No, and that's scrolling through the article again. That's what's horrifying is she said that up until now, she's been able to keep her real name unknown. And it says she's been paying for like data removal services for years and stuff like that. And do we know how that got out there? There's so many ways, especially in America, where our privacy laws can best be described as LOL.
There really needs to be a change where that data isn't allowed to be collected in the first place. Plenty of countries, this information is not allowed to be used for this purpose. Like, that's the whole point of a lot of data protection laws, is they stop this sort of thing happening.
We shouldn't need to pay for these data removal services. We should just have strong data privacy laws.